Let's begin. So the question the Maimon raised, which Ephraim had asked, the way the Maimon frames the question is as follows. We've been constantly using the language, the etzem, because relatively speaking, that's what we're talking about, pnimis hatainu. And that at the end, becomes very clear. But the way the Maimon frames the question is that since the mana is rooted in atmos eidin sof shelamayna mishtalshalos, higher than creation, higher even he added than the source, the root and source of time. Because there is ishtalshalos is the source and root of time, and that's because ishtalshalos is about levels. If you're talking about levels and evolving levels, that's the inyan hazman, baruchnius. So there's levels, that's what time means spiritually. But he was speaking a level that's not any higher than time. That would be described as Sebev Kalam, but Atmos Eidin Sof is higher than even the source for time. So therefore, yes, why is it, therefore, since it's beyond time, that's the kvetch here, the emphasis. So why is it that the manna has to fall Dvar B'Yom? On the contrary, we think it would be this one inyan that is completely not bound particular time, it would be the manna. And yet it's not only bound and restricted to time, but so restrictively that one day cannot and does not give to or even borrow from the other. Now, in answer to the question in general, he had said till now, because what happens on Shabbos is the 6 middas, all of creation ascend to Pnimius HaTainug, and the key word in the answer is, and they are full. Mismalim, you don't find such a loss so commonly, but they're fully enriched, full with the gili of Tainug. So if they're all full, then there's no need. That's what emerges. There's no need, therefore, to give and take. All drawing on the complete an absolute tainug, which fills each sphera, and hence there's no give and take. We explained what all this means. What it means for an end as opposed to the end, and tainug and dafkin neshamas is all bound up within this Av HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rami doesn't speak this language; it just says what it says, and we're trying to explain it. So, based on that question, on this explanation till now, as the mind is going, okay, so each one is full. That's okay. We've kind of answered why one day doesn't have to lend to or gift another day, but why is it still bound to each day? We're talking Eidin Sof, Shalamayna Mizman, high even in the source of Zman. Why is it so narrowly and restricted and integral to it? To the falling of the manna is Dvar Yom B'Yom, and nothing could leave over, and there was a prohibition to it. If it did it, it became putrid, wormy. The answer is going to be, again, without saying these is so black and white, is we're talking level of etzem mamish, not simply a level of Eidin Sof, which is a level, let's see in the words of the Maimon. Achinyan, who we started this 2 days ago, we'll pick up from here again. Achinyan who didn't call hashpois, not manna. Shem ibchenis ishtalshalos. So all of the ashpois come through ishtalshalos, and they are elicited by our avodah. Arousal from below elicits an arousal or awakening or a revelation from above. What does this mean? It means we're down here, lamata, we're engaging the world and elevating the sparks. So by elevating the sparks, that's the asrusa de letato, we elicit the asrusa de le'ela. That's why, on the contrary, there's a great integration. We went into great length on Monday explaining historically the whole process of avodas haberurim, of elevating the sparks, and where we're holding today, and how you can literally see it in the final birur. So here, the elevation of the sparks, it's a whole integrated system, and one has to complete the other, creating the home. The home is not an isolated article, plank of wood, brick. It's the combination of all of the bricks. This is the Nitzutzik Dusha that we're elevating. And obviously one completes the other. It's all an interlocking, interconnecting system. And each detail becomes whole and complete, dafka with the other detail. Putting it all together, everything is complete. So therefore, in that sense, one gives to the other, one's connected with to the other. That's b'chalal in the ashpois that come l'mayla. But mana is different. Continuing though, before we get to mana, v'lachin dvar yom b'yom eida. Aval hamon, yes, aval hamon b'chnis sarusa d'leilim sadatzma. So the man is a sarusa d'leilim sadatzma shaloya davidas siburim. It doesn't come as a result of vidas siburim. Let's conclude the sentence. Lachin dvar yom b'yom eida. There, it's everyday individual, and that way. It suggests what he means here is that what does it mean that the mana does not come as a result of vidas siburim? Because the mana expresses God's initial, essential bchira in Yidden. Not because of anything. I want you because I want you, ultimately because you're a piece of me. And I want that truth to pervade every part of you, your body, your interactions, and the whole world be suffused with it. And that's the Dirleis Barich, that's when Mashiach comes. That's the whole objective, that's the great Shabbos. So all to say, it's Arusa D'Leilim Mitzad Atzmai, not dependent on Avedis. So what's the Avedis Siburim? The Avedis Siburim is this essential bond that the Eibishter has with us, and he wants it to be revealed in the guf in the world, so we have to refine the world. That's all Avodah, elevating the world and the body, in order that what? That this bchira, this choice in us, this that the neshama zachel l'kalakam yimal mamish, should be revealed and manifested in the body in a world perfected and redeemed and healed. But what is the mana? The mana is not based on Avodah Siburim. As we said yesterday, kind of a crudish kind of illustration. If the boy and girl are dating a chassan, they're dating a bach and a girl, and so one finds out whatever is in the moshel. The other one has a beautiful home. That's where they're going to live after they get married. That's the reason to marry her or him. You got a beautiful home. I'm marrying you now. Marrying you, the beautiful home will be able to express us. But that's not the reason to get married. So the whole the whole world, so Eibishter is meaningless. It's only meaningful and essentially so when it reveals our intrinsic connection. Again, a home is a home because of the soulmates that live there. That's what makes it a home. And the saddest place in the world is a home that all of this effort has been invested, and then it all comes apart. It's so sad that some people, after this happens, can never step foot into it again. And we totally understand that. Because every detail of the home is expressive of the soulmate, of the family unit. It becomes the most painful place rather than the place that expresses us and liberates our essential selves in the deepest way. The deepest connections, the deepest freedom, the deepest nourishing state of being. It's what a home has to do. It has to nourish the you are, not your performance that will come naturally. If I'm embraced, loved, feel whole at my core, then the rest will follow. Then it will express itself as it need be. I mean, we need guidance and teachings, and that's what we're given the Torah, but it's an easy expression. We're in touch with Etzem and Neshama, but the Torah Mitzvahs is not another obligation, it's another expression of self. Al Kaponim, so this is what the mana is. So the mana is it's God, I want you, my tainug in you, period. Now, how does that answer the question? We'll soon see. But let's continue, or hopefully we'll see. By way of illustration, again, to answer why the mana is restricted to a particular day and not beyond time, as per need, whatever the case. Or one revelation for extended period. One bestowal of mana for extended period. Or every detail, every day, boom, that's it. Why? So, a person, by illustration, that which a person earns through his toil and effort. So yeah, so you can strike a good deal and make parnasa that will carry you for many days. Some people, the parnasa at the deal works for the year. So likewise with the tvor, the produce of the earth, the ovid admasa, he who serves, who works the land rather, Yizbalech will be satisfied. He'll get the reward of the bread. Achas al kol zman. It comes once for and then sustains the person. Like we see Begashmis, we take the harvest. We have now bread for the year. That's when it's through your effort. When it's through your effort, so one day can provide for the other day. But when it's a complete gift that we're giving, it's not through my effort. So through my effort, I work very hard, I invest, I got the field, and there's a large field and many fields, so it produces grain, bread for an extended period. But if it's a gift, you don't know what tomorrow is going to be. Like whatever he's given, that's all he gets. And therefore, he cannot rely on, you're going to get a gift, it's going to be for the next day. It may not be, it's not dependent on your avodah. That seems to be the point, friends. Anybody has a different explanation, please share. So far, the explanation. What is the
chule at the end of?
I think the chule is saying he might get for one day, might get for longer. There's no, you can't. We have no say in that when it comes to matan. Whatever he's given, that's it, and that could be in many ways. I think that's the chule. Now, so man is just that it's higher than our effort. It's a gift. Therefore, it's every day. Every day is the gift. And therefore, the Zazar says, one does not give or lend or borrow from one day to its fellow.
So, question back to the question.
Once I want to try to unpack this a little bit. In what the Maamar is saying, at least in these words. So when it's a way of ishtalshalus, so since the person is part of what? Of the sata, we're part of the created reality. So how does it work? Again, the Moshel Gashmi, person works and again in his field or a deal, and he knows he's working for a long time on this particular deal. And if that comes through, he's got panos for X amount of time. That's how it works the matter. One day is bound up with the other because that's where we're working. We're working in the realm of time and space, and panos comes accordingly. All of time is interconnected. One day again can provide for the other. But when it's coming b'matan and b'lamayla, so the whole point is that it's a matan and not dependent on us, therefore not dependent on our constricture, then the gift l'chatchila is not given as a gift bound to the constraints of time, but it's a gift that stands on its own. And it stands on its own, the next moment has no shaykhis to this gift. It could be, this is similar to Yom Kippur, where Yom Kippur is achas b'shana. It's only one day. The Torah stresses achas b'shana. The one dayness of Yom Kippur is really showing that the Mailim Yazman. Like the Shaita Chagari Chada, the one moment of Tshuva. Because the Mailim Mazman, if it's not going to come down in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it comes down in oneness. And each day, therefore, is the keli of this oneness. So that day is everything. The next day is everything. The next day is everything. The next day is everything. still some words here that don't exactly express that, but now the way we're explaining it, Chaim, I'll take your point in a moment. The way we're explaining it till now, which is what he's driving to here, especially the next line where he emphasizes the Tainik and the Rotz and the Elyon. So what that means is that Eibishter is saying that every moment is everything. It's like the Vot of the Baal Shem Tov, when Neshama comes down to this world, lives 70, 80 years, wants to do a favor to another, Baruchnis, Begashmis, and Mekolishkim Baruchnis. This one act is everything. It's worth all the Neshamas coming down. But by extension, what it's saying is, since it's the Tainug, Ha'elyon, Hashem's Tainug invested in us, what that grants is that every moment, every part of us is everything to the Eibishter, and that's what it is. That's the truth. The truth. I have chosen, my Nis'ava Kadosh Baruch Hu, is to be part of your lives in every detail, in every moment, in time and space, and every moment is everything. Which is why we'll do everything to keep a neshama in the world for another minute. Because this moment is everything. If you put it up against the span of the person's lifetime, it's another few seconds. So what's the difference? Another minute, another day. And they're not doing anything anyway. There's not berudim, there's not elevating, they're not contributing. No, just a neshama being here. It's all part of his Nis'ava Kadosh Baruch Hu, Yisli Baruch, Dir B'Tachtonim, which is us in Elam Hazeh. So every moment of life is infinitely precious. Not in terms of performance, clearly not. Quality of life and all of these external factors. But in terms of the Bechira, the Tainug Elyon, which is the manner expresses, every moment is everything. And you're all everything to me, not just you, but every moment in your life. L'chora, this is the general explanation. Chaim, yes?
You basically explained it, but I have still, there is a flip side question. You basically said a matana is, well, every day it's like a brand new matana because you don't know how long it's going to be for.
Right, as he's saying,
so every day, I got it. So I mean,
we're completely dependent on the giver. It's not our role.
This may be just a klutz kasha. You can maybe get a gift from the beginning. They say, "Wow, this is a gift that's going to last with me for my lifetime." Like, I'm not saying it's a gift. We're part of the Eibishter. We know it from the onset forever. This is just.
What are you saying?
For I don't know. I'm saying VaYarivecha is every day is a gift, but you could say sometimes a person can get a gift on one day. We know it's going to last forever.
But that's counter. The point being here is that every individual moment is the gift. Okay. So if you're going to take this gift and share it with the next day, that's its own gift, its own special. Every moment. That's every moment in Elam Hazeh that we are here is expressive of God's, the Eibishter's Tainug in us, and the Gilui of that Tainug is in Torah mitzvahs that we'll do each day, Dvar Yom B'Yomeh, each day having its own shlichus, and each moment not detracting from the one previous.
Okay.
On atzmisdika level. When you really love somebody in this very deep way, then every moment of their lives is precious to you, in every aspect of their life, not just the big moments and not just every aspect, everything. And this is why Chassidus introduced the holding of Minhagim, and Chassidim had Mesidus Nefesh from Minhagim. Mitzad Ishtal Shalus, Mitzad Torah even, it's a minig is a minig. It's not that critical. I'm going to mention this. I said it was to be by Fabrengen, but it's Torah. Not that this is not because I discovered this. This is hearing this from VaYarivecha in the Big Talmud Chacham in Melbourne. And he pointed out to me in several examples that the Gra, Be'yurei HaGra, and the Shulchan Aruch, and also other Sfarim, particular sefer that records all his behavior, the Pel Mamash is mevatel, constantly thinking of a minig. To illustrate just now, the minig we don't learn Torah, Tisha B'Av afternoon, he's mevatel that. He calls it a chumah yisayir and say basically you shouldn't do it. And also the minig that Ramah writes, again, this is what Yidden do. They bench the Levana after Tisha B'Av, not before. So, in another work quoted, another sefer, not B'ri Agron, Shulchan Aruch, but another sefer, he writes, no, you should even Mekadesh Levana after 3 days. Because minhagim and not mitzad minhagim, mitzad ishtalshus, mitzad Torah, mitzad seichel, there, if they complement and augment, good. If not, not to learn Torah from Tisha B'Av, Erev Tisha B'Av in the afternoon. It's not in Shas, not in the Rishonim. Certainly not in Shas. So, but we do. And Chassidus gave tremendous emphasis to the of a minig, and that's because a minig is where does a minig come from? That the neshama is so deep. I told you the marshal of the Raisa, the Rabbanan, and minig to explain in a marshal. The 3 levels of servant. There's a servant that the master commands what to do, and he does it. That's one level, not more, not less, and he's certainly praiseworthy. Doesn't transgress and does whatever he's told. Then there's a Eved even more devoted to his master. Picks up on the hints, even that which is not explicit. And then there's an Eved that is so one with the master, he knows what the master wants without him even saying it. And that's the Raisa, the Rabbanan and Minig. The Raisa is explicitly in the Torah. Rabbanan is, it's hinted, so that expresses a deeper devotion. That's why Hashem says that the words of the sages are sweeter to me than the words of Torah. Revim alai, divri sofrim. We learned this in the Maamar recently, was quoted. And a Minig, where does the minig come from? To where Yamlakev, to where the Hakofis and Chastayr, and many things that we do, thousands of minhagim. Where does this come from? And many of them were created by elderly Babis. This is the Rashba, by elderly Jewish women. That's what they did. Where does this come from? Because the Neshama is one with the Eibishter just knows what he wants, and it's a spontaneous thing. It's the deepest thing. Therefore, minig is the deepest thing. I'm actually emphasizing that not only does Chassidus now celebrate the minig, but it introduce so many minhagim and so many pratim, so many details and observance. That's all the minig thing we do. Our minig is the film this way, the Alter Rebbe's Kesher. These are big revolutions. Everything, the Ksav, everywhere. Our tzitzis, sukkah, everything. Detail, way wash your hands. It's Chabad. It's like, why? Because that's the whole chiddush is, first of all, as we've said many times, this is the decoration of the home. The home is in the details. And like it's in a relationship. But the mark of your relationship is not the big moments, the grand moments, but it's in the casual conversation, the small details that I give. What didn't have to be said, had to be said, not. How do you say that? How do you talk to her? How do you, the gestures? The deepest part of the person comes out in his super conscious or unconscious gestures. As any good psychologist, I'm sure would agree. That's what psychologists understand, the gestures. And how they reveal the dreams, but even the gestures, how they reveal the deepest part of the person. In addition to all of this, it's all one Nakud. The Chassidus emphasizes the gestures, the minhagim, the pratim, because the Eibishter's tainug is in everything. And even in the smallest detail that you would think is not so significant because it's this inyan atzmi, you're everything to me, then no. My essential delight is in not just the big moments, but the small details of the way you behave and interact and do and perform the mitzvah. Again, when it comes to etzem, the essence, when revealed, everything becomes everything. Everything is everything. Every detail is everything at the essential, atomic, spiritually speaking, and subatomic level. All right, we'll continue. We'll continue the Maamar Beis Hashem on Monday. And we'll conclude the Maamar, God willing, on Monday.